Welcome to another episode of DWeb Decoded. We actually have a special guest today, Stefaan from Akave. Stefaan is actually celebrating 1 year of starting Akave as a company with his two other co-founders who are also here in this room but not in this shot. So Stefaan, I wanted to start off by asking you, how is it going with Akave? And looking back from a year ago, what did you expect back then with the company and where is it today?
Yeah, no, great. So it's been a year, it's amazing. Exactly today is our birthday. And we started off with a goal to release testnet and go after some real paying customers. And that's what we've accomplished in the last year. And so we released our testnet in November. So that was really fun. We were in Bangkok, right? That was the first time. And very quickly did we participate in like 3 hackathons at DEF CON. Then we went to ETH India, which was unexpected because we were like, well, if we do 1 hackathon, right, we'll be happy. And now we did 3, and now we had more than 75 projects that are actually building on Akave, which is amazing. And then one of the things we kind of discovered is that, you know, initially you're sort of like going after the Web3 developer and getting some feedback. What we discovered is that even the Web3 developers, they care about ease of use, and they're very comfortable with like S3 or RESTful interfaces. And so what was a surprise is that even though our main focus is to go after enterprise customers, right, is that even the Web3 builders love these simple interfaces because they're currently building on AWS or Google or Microsoft. And so it's a lot easier for them to then move their workloads to decentralized storage.
Amazing. So many of you guys here listening in already know what Akave is, but for those that don't know, tell me in 3 words what Akave is, or 3 sentences.
Yeah, Akave is a data layer, a hot data layer, where users can easily bring their off-chain data sets on-chain. And we archive and manage data on Filecoin as well. So users can easily store it on Akave in a hot tier, and then tier it off to Filecoin.
Amazing. And 75 projects building on Akave today. What is the special sauce? What separates it from all these other decentralized storage solutions we're seeing? There's obviously a lot of companies building on Filecoin, and there's also other ecosystems, say, that are launching new decentralized storage layers.
Yeah, I mean, good question. So we sat down as a team, and you know, you can see this from the feedback as well from the hackers and like all the startups that are playing around with our code, is that it's very easy to use. And making something easy to use is harder than you think, you know, because, you know, you want to make sure that within like, you know, a few minutes or with a few lines of code that users can just quickly start storing data. And that's what we are known for. And the second part is we deliver enterprise grade functionality in the stack. And that's really what's been interesting to hear from also deepened networks. You know, you have a lot of deepened networks that are now like collecting data at the edge with devices, IoT types of devices. They themselves too, they're interested in storing data on decentralized storage. Most of them are still using AWS. And they as well are looking for the enterprise grade functionality. So that's really what differentiates us. So ease of use and enterprise grade infrastructure.
Amazing. And I think those 2 words are so rare to hear in blockchain or crypto companies.
That's right.
In fact, those are probably the missing sauce that most platforms have. They might have great metrics on the surface, but the question is, do they have real adoption? Can we verify that real adoption? So, Stefaan, when you started Akave a year ago, this was also your first real big boy startup.
True.
I'm sure you've had other ventures here and there, but since then, I think you've started another company as well in the DeepIn space.
That's right.
So what has it been like as an entrepreneur? What were things that you expected and you didn't expect coming from traditional tech into Web3 and then now into a founder hat? Yeah,
you know me so well, Clara, right? So yeah, it's really fun. Like, it's almost like, you know, I always wanted to be CEO. But it was only until last year when I had the opportunity to actually go do it and solve a real problem that it sort of triggered the flame in me to, like, you know, all of a sudden like also engage with other startups and even, you know, contribute to another DeepIn startup. The point is, like, I think it's just like sometimes you need that little push, and so that was it for me, which is amazing. What was surprising to me in a good way is that and is that there's a lot of people out there that actually want you to be successful. And it's amazing to see people like yourself too, right? Supporting us in this journey. Because when you go into it, in the beginning, I thought like, okay, this is going to be very isolating, but not in Web3, because there's so many people that are willing to support you. And we're also seeing like the community step up. Like one of the startups that came through the hackathons just build our Python SDK. And it was just amazing, right? I mean, that's beautiful to see, like when you have a vision and other people join your vision and they're contributing in a way that you didn't even have, you hadn't even thought about. That's beautiful. I think the hardest part is like finding, on the other side, the hardest part is finding the right balance between, chasing this cool Web3 ecosystem and all the cool stuff that you can do with blockchain versus staying focused on business, staying focused on revenue, which is what, we need to do. And that can be sometimes a little bit more boring, right? Because you have to go after enterprises. And so that is a little bit of a harder approach because, Web3 is fun and you can do so many things, but you have to stay focused on those, those projects and features that will actually turn into revenue.
Amazing. Well, last question and we'll wrap, but there is no I in team. And so I would love to hear more around the DNA of Akave today. Who are the amazing people behind the scenes that are making Akave happen along with you?
Yeah.
And how are you thinking about growth? What are the missing pieces of people that you would like to either build on Akave or bring into Akave as a team?
Yeah, great question. So first of all, our mascot is the honey badger. And for those who don't know what the honey badger is, there was a meme 15 years ago about honey badger don't give a shit, honey badger don't care. And so we feel like that's sort of our culture. Like we don't care. We're just going to build what makes sense and make it work. And so that's the culture we're trying to build, is so that, everyone can contribute in their own way that is the strongest, that brings us the strongest value that they can bring. The second question was like, what is next, right? Well, now we need to grow our go-to-market. So we need to bring in more BDRs. We need to bring in more of the sales motion now that we have our product. So we're releasing Akave Cloud, which is the enterprise grade version that's built on the Akave network that will allow enterprises to easily switch from AWS into decentralized storage. But you need salespeople, and so that's what we're focusing on right now, because the last year has been predominantly focused on engineering, building out the stack, working with developers, getting feedback, and now we're bringing customers online. And that requires customer success, that requires sales. And then next year, our goal is to bring out the stack to the community so that we can bring in more node providers and then also, more products that can be built on top of Akave.
Amazing. And one last question I'm going to just throw in here and we can edit it out if you don't want it. If you had to give a report card to yourself as CEO, what grade would you give yourself?
Wow.
1 year in?
Wow, 1 year in. That's hard. I hadn't thought about it. Look, I'll never give myself a 10 because that's not how I operate. I feel like there's always improvements. I think I would say an 8.
Okay.
But, I would say an 8 right now out of 10.
Okay, amazing.
I think we all can improve. We can all work on things, but we've done an amazing job. I think I honestly didn't expect we were going to be where we are a year ago. And, as it is in Web3, I feel like 1 year in Web3 is like probably 5 to 10 years in Web2.
Absolutely.
It's moving so much faster.
Yeah.
But it's super fun.
No, amazing. Well, thank you for coming on, and we're so thrilled to have you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.